Welcome to Absolutely Abundant, a podcast for soul aligned creatives. I'm your host, Julie Goetzinger, and this is episode 40, Getting Unstuck. I am filming this episode from my Airbnb in Ocean City, Maryland. This is my first stop along my travels. I don't have a hair dryer. That's why my hair looks like this because I have severely downsized what I am bringing with me on my journey. So this episode is called Getting Unstuck. I feel like I've been stuck for about 2 years now. Just feeling like everything I launched was like, it was like exciting at first and then it just flopped. Or somebody would reach out and they were so excited they were going to sign up and then they were like, but I can't pay you. Delays, just things, just so many blocks. And I just got to this point of like, what the heck is going on? I booked a session with my intuitive reader. I can't say her name because she asked me not to because she wants to stay private. But my intuitive has been helping me for the past 13 years. I've been having reading with her regularly. Healers need healers, intuitives need intuitives. We can't see our own stuff, at least not very clearly. So anyway, I booked a session with her and I was like, I just feel so stuck. Not just in my business, but I just feel stuck. Like I feel stuck in my body right now. I feel stuck in my career and my love life. Like just so much just felt like it wasn't going anywhere. And she said, your spirit guides are saying it's time to look into astrocartography. And she's like, have you had your birth chart read? And I was like, I did it online, like the free version. But no, I've never had a professional read it. So I found a professional reader, Helena Woods is her name, and she's a professional astrocartographer. So what she does is she looks at your natal chart and she looks at where the planets were when you were born, the angles, and measures everything and sees like what is going on, in your chart and how is it represented in your life right now. What we found was that I've been living on my Saturn line for the past 3 years. I moved out, actually longer than that. I've been on that line. Gosh, I've been on this line for about 13 years now. Damn. Just realized that my house that I lived in with my ex-husband was also on the Saturn line. And I remember going on vacation and feeling like really, good and light and happy. And then we'd get home and I would just feel like this heaviness. And I didn't know if it was the house or the neighborhood or I felt like a fog. Like I could feel this dense energy, but I lived there. I was like, well, what am I going to do? So I did things like adding crystals and plants. Here's one of my plants behind me. That's my money tree that came with me on my journey. But I did do things to spruce up the space, right? Crystals, plants, adding natural light wherever I could, things like that. And our marriage came to an end, and then I ended up moving still on my Saturn line without knowing it because I hadn't had a reading yet. And I just felt like I was just in this cycle. Like I kept repeating the same things in my romantic life. I kept repeating the same things in my business. It was like fast growth and then big drop. Like that's kind of how it was in love and in business. It was like fast growth, big drop, fast growth, big drop, like just these patterns. And then I just got to a place of like, what is going on? So I had this reading and she, illuminated so much for me. And I was like, you know what? I'm in a lease right now, but why not just ask my landlord if I can leave early? I feel called to leave early. I'm just going to put it out there and ask. I reached out to him. I asked and he said, let me think about it. And then he got back to me soon afterwards and said, okay. And it just felt like this green light from the universe. Like, okay, you've been stuck long enough. You've learned a lot of lessons. You've healed a lot of stuff. Now it is time to explore. So I started looking into Airbnbs and the ones that I chose before I had my reading were also on the Saturn line, just further west. And interesting enough, I was very drawn to Leesburg, Virginia, which is on my Pluto line, which is all about deep inner work and shadow work, but also therapy. And I am leading group therapy sessions there for business owners. So I was like, okay, well, that makes sense because I'm leading group therapy and therapy in quotes. I'm not a therapist, I am a life coach. But we're doing therapeutic work together. I'm an energy worker, I'm a mindset coach. So we're doing therapeutic work there. And I'm like, okay, that makes sense for that location. That's also where I did my VIP coaching day. Um, Also where I'm going to be doing some photo shoots. So people who are healing things within themselves, going through divorce, things like that, coming back after going through some kind of a loss or a breakup, that makes sense to do in that location because they are doing shadow work. They're doing healing work. But I'm not meant to live on my Pluto line. I'm not meant to live on my Saturn line. I'm meant to be in the sun. I'm meant to step in further into leadership, into being seen more as a speaker, as a writer. And so what I'm doing is exploring different lines now. And right now I'm playing with this energy just today. I did find out that now Ocean City, Maryland, which is where I currently am, is on my Neptune line, which is all about deep spiritual wisdom. It can be a little escapist. So if you have a tendency to like dream a lot and like not feel grounded, then it can be difficult to be here too long or to live on that line. But I'm just visiting for a week, and I do plan to do deep inner work, while I'm here, spiritual work for myself, especially doing a little bit of sharing with others, but mostly it's for my own inner work. And I noticed that in Ocean City, Maryland, here in general, this is my Neptune line. But then you can go even more specifically into the local space, and I do all this over astro.com. It's a free software. And I noticed that in Ocean City, Maryland, you can zoom in closer and find out the best places to go exactly where you are. The best places to go out to eat, to work out, to meet new friends, to rest. And I saw that where I'm staying, my Airbnb is also on my Saturn line. And it's funny because my reader shared that once you're on your Saturn line, it's very hard to get off because it's about stuckness. It's about stagnation. So it's very difficult to get off of it. But I think of Maya Angelou, who says, when you know better, you do better. So it's like, cool, I see where I am. I woke up this morning, I had the desire to exercise, but I was feeling very tired. I just moved yesterday. And I was like, I want to get up and go. I want to run. I want to be active. But then it was like, and I also am here to rest and recover. I just moved yesterday. I just lifted tons of heavy boxes and my body is tired. So I will let her rest today. And the only thing I booked for myself is a dinner, and I looked on my astrocartography map to see where would be a better place for me to hang out today. Where would be a good place for me to rest? I found a place that does yoga, so I booked a yoga session for me. I found a place that does lavender treatments for relaxation. And the ones that I selected or that I was researching were on the better placements on my chart. So I looked at a gym that is also on my Saturn line, which is about like restlessness and like feeling tired. Like, that's not a good place to work out, right? But if I'm on my sun line, I'm feeling energized and positive and I get that energy back, that's a better place to do that kind of exercise. So this is all so illuminating. It's so interesting. Once you know it, you can't unknow it. And it's so easy to just get obsessed with it. I don't know. I am so freaking interested in it. I'm actually going to be taking a certification course from Helena Woods, so that I can be certified to also do astrocartography readings for my clients. I already do intuitive readings, so I do get visions, and I'm claircognizant. So I have a knowing. A lot of people ask me career questions, business questions, what lane they're meant to be in their business, like what wants to be focused on next, how to organize. People come to me with those kinds of questions mostly, but I also help people to get unstuck in love. Like if there's some kind of pattern they're repeating, I can identify that for them and share that with them. So I already do that work through intuitive readings, which is something that is available now. If you want to check it out, you can click on the link below. And I'm adding astrocartography readings. So this is for people who really want to learn about the energy of the location, timing for traveling, for moving. And you don't have to move to this spot. Like you don't have to live in Airbnbs for a month at a time like I'm doing. You can simply drive to a coffee shop that is along a better line for you based on what you're working on. For example, if you're working on writing a speech, going on the Mercury line would be really good, or reading a book. If you want inspiration for your book, that could be like the Neptune line or the Jupiter line, which is about positive improvements and realizations. If you are doing a live video, going on the sun line where you're more visible and seen. And I'm actually recording this in my Airbnb, which is it's on the Neptune line, but it's also Saturn. Um, it's not the best place to broadcast from, but I am going to be sharing this. I'm going to actually go to a coffee shop on I'm playing with this. I'm new at this too. But I'm going to my sun line, which is where I'm going to be releasing this video. And I'm going to be sending out an email newsletter also on my sunline. So that's like more visibility, more people seeing it. I'll feel better. I'll feel more in my positive energy. I'm also doing a brainstorming session today with a colleague. So I'm going to be, on the sunline for positive communication. So just things to be aware of. If you have a difficult conversation to have with someone, like some kind of challenge you're going through, you don't want to be on your Saturn line or your Pluto line or your Mars line or anywhere in the vicinity because that's like argumentative, that's like shadow, that's triggering. So you want to go somewhere that's like, if you want to improve a relationship, like the Jupiter line. If you want it to go well, go to your sun line. So we can play with all these energies. It's so much fun. And so if you're feeling stuck in your life, I am doing a program that's launching May 13th. It's called Mindset Reset. And we're going to be looking at our relationship with our body first, our relationship with others, friends, clients, our relationship with money. So it's all about relationships, like looking at the thoughts you're thinking around the relationships in your life, and what's possible for you, what you think is possible for you. And how can we think bigger? How can we expand your vision? And also take really good care of your body, which is your first house. That's what we're going to be doing in my Mindset Reset program. And it is a live group coaching course. It's a 5-week course that launches on May 13th. So I'll put a link below if you feel called to learn more about that. And another really great part of that program is we are going to be walking through my declutter your life process. So that's getting rid of things that you no longer use, decluttering what you're putting in your body, decluttering any negative thoughts that you're thinking. So it's all about shedding, letting go of things standing in the way of what you desire. So we're going to be meeting once a week for 5 weeks, and the link will be below if you're interested in that. If you can't come to the May session, we're going to be launching another one in the summer and another one in the fall as well. If you prefer to work with me one-on-one, you can book a reading, and that will be linked below too. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Share this video with anyone you think could, benefit from listening to it. And yeah, thanks so much for being here. And I'll also put a link to astro.com below if you're interested in learning more about astrocartography and kind of playing around with your chart too. So thanks for being here. Have a great rest of your week. Bye.